That was Los Campesinos with Ways to Make It Through the Day right here on 91.3 Real College Radio. You're listening to Free Association with Mark Lane. Bada bop, bada beep, bada boop, bada beep. Yes, it's another Wednesday afternoon. I'll be coming at you until 6 o'clock. Oh, today is, as you well know, is RSU's centennial, and so there's been parades, and they've renamed the new student center. I don't know, should I tell them what it is? No, you should come and see it for yourself. And, you know, even though they named the student center, even though they had the parade, don't think that today's activities are over. You know, don't think you're out. Because coming up later this evening at 7 o'clock, Jeff Greenfield from CBS Evening News will be giving a very momentous speech on RSU, and you should come to the Student Center and see it. I'll definitely be there. I'll definitely be there to hear it. And then we'll have a public reception at 8 o'clock. And then the most important part, the fireworks at 8:30. So don't think, you missed a couple activities today? Yeah, well, you got a couple more tonight. So the Centennial Day is not over yet. And all this comes after spring break. Can you believe this? Yeah, well... All right, let's see what's going on in the news here. Air Force F-22 jet crashes in California. Ooh, I don't like to hear about that. Too many plane crashes in the past couple of months here in the United States. Let's see. Flood high is two-story house in North Dakota. Oh, here we go. Gmail creates a 5-second rule for email blunders. That's wonderful. Haven't you ever sent an email to a girlfriend saying, what do you... I saw you with Bobby Jones in the hallway. Now, what's going on here, huh? What do you think you are? And then you sent the email, and then you get thrown down a well later because you're too suspicious. Well, now you have 5 seconds to rethink whether or not that's a good option. They ought to give me a 5-second rule to correct my mistakes here in radio. Okay, what else is going on here? Here we go, from ABC News. J.P. Morgan Chase to spend millions on new jets in luxury airport hangar. Embattled bank J.P. Morgan Chase, the recipient of $25 billion in TARP funds, is going ahead with a $138 million plan to buy 2 new luxury corporate jets and build the premier corporate aircraft hangar on the eastern seaboard to house them. ABC News has learned. Well, okay, but here's the good news. A spokesman for J.P. Morgan Chase said no TARP money would be used to make any payments for the new jets or jet hangar improvements. You hear this? That'd be like your friend who's the banker in Monopoly saying, oh, no, I'm just robbing the bank to, not to put hotels on my boardwalk and park place, but to pay you when I land on your North Carolina Avenue with the hotels there. You hear this? Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with. Okay. Teens could spend 25 years in prison for allegedly torturing cat and setting it on fire. This happened out in New York City, where they allegedly tortured and killed a cat that they set on fire when they broke into an apartment in New York City. They're going to get 25 years for this. You have to wonder why. Well, because what somebody does to an animal is what they could eventually do to a human. But in this case, it's kind of inverse, because one of the suspects was recently charged with a burglary and assault in an unrelated incident in the same building where he went in, and he broke into an apartment and beat a tenant with a cane while demanding money. So, you got to be careful. What somebody does to an animal, they might end up doing to a human. This is out of the Chicago Sun-Times. Chicago public schools seek to rein in behavior towards athletes. Chicago public school coaches are in for a crackdown under a proposed city policy that explicitly bans everything from pushing, pinching, or paddling? They whip an athlete, like with a belt? To displays of temper. Well, set that one aside. I might talk about it one of these days. This one I'm definitely going to talk about. The field is, this is out of the Dallas Morning News, field is set for Michael Irvin's reality show. This is important for you to hear, those of you Dallas Cowboys fans, because I know what the media's tell you. Oh, Jerry Jones, he's doing this for... the attention, whatever. Yeah, well, you find out Jerry Jones just gave his blessing. And he has nothing to do with it at all. This is out of the Miami Herald. Pamela Anderson goes for the gold at animal event. So anyway, she's dead serious about the great apes, it says here. She's dead serious about the plight of our hairy relatives. Well, after dating Kid Rock, some of those guys, I'm sure why. She recently appealed to Governor Charlie Crist of Florida to send apes in Florida's roadside zoos to accredited sanctuaries. Anderson looks like she's also getting serious with a new man. Election, I can't do this stuff. I can't. That's not my cup of tea. That's not my circus. But if you want to hear that type of circus, then what I suggest that you do is tune in on Fridays to Entertainment on 91.3 with Nikki from 2 to 4. That's Fridays from 2 to 4 on 91.3 Real College Radio. You can hear about, entertainment and that kind of stuff. It's not what I do. What I do is true alternative music and requests, which we have right after the break. We have Of Montreal with Suffer for Fashion. And if you want to give me a call at 918-343-7913, I'll definitely take your request. Be here. That was Chris Joss with Danger Buds right here on Free Association with yours truly, Mark Lane. Now, I get a bad rap sometimes. I really do. People say, oh, you're too negative. They wish I were more positive or whatever. Well, okay. I was reading in Reader's Digest out of, what issue is this here? The March issue? Yeah, the March issue of Reader's Digest about mistake proofing your life. If you make too many mistakes, they give you some suggestions on how not to make so many mistakes. And number 2 on the list was think negatively. This is Dr. Atul Gawande, I promise you, that's his name, from Harvard Medical School said, when you have a major decision to make, ask what could go wrong. While putting a positive spin on things can influence their outcome, positive thinking also blinds us to pitfalls. So look for and even expect failure, which is, kind of what I do. It's the power of negative thinking. And then this is corroborated by Stefano Della Vigna, an associate professor of economics at the University of California, Berkeley. He says, nearly everyone is overconfident except the people who are depressed. They tend to be realists. So, maybe I have a good perspective on life. Well, it's no secret that the request line is 918-343-7913 and that I'll play you a song. Speaking of secrets, here's Eagles of Death Metal with Secret Plans on Free Association. That was Shiny Toy Guns with Ghost Town right here on Free Association with yours truly, Mark Lane. Before that, we had None More Black with Sedition. Before that, we had Kaiser Chiefs with Never Miss a Beat. And how could you forget the tune of that? It's cool to know nothing. Yeah, well, it must be cool to know nothing. You see the kids walking around today, especially the emos, with that, like their bangs. They grow their bangs out and they fall down like past their nose, and then they do like a comb over or whatever. They look like Shemp out of the Three Stooges. You remember him? He replaced Curly one time. Definitely, they look like George McFly, Crispin Glover's role in Back to the Future. Definitely look like that. And then the girls, I have to knock on the girls too. They wear Napoleon Dynamite boots anymore. They wear snowshoes, and they wear it with anything. It looks so tacky. They don't even know what world they're living in. Oh well, that's what I'm dealing with. People, they don't know style. They don't know anything. They just, do what they do. Oh, here's one that I didn't get to, which was the Michael Irvin reality show. You remember? I was talking about that. Michael Irvin is going to do a reality show on Spike TV in May called Fourth and Long. Now, what it is, the premise is a dozen aspiring, football players are going to compete against each other for a chance, to make the Dallas Cowboys team. Therein lies the problem. The mediates have spun this. Dallas Cowboys fans, who I think Henry Louis Mencken wrote, never underestimate no one ever lost money underestimating the intelligence of Cowboys fans. Anyway, they're all saying, oh, Jerry Jones is behind this, and, this is Hard Knocks all over again. We didn't learn, painting the doomsday scenario. I'm used to it. So all this is they're just competing for the 80th roster spot. The 80th roster spot as the Dallas Cowboys go to training camp. What does that mean? That means that they'll probably, the person that wins on this show will more than likely be cut. So they're not even if they win the show, they're not even guaranteed to play for the Dallas Cowboys. But you listen to to the mediates and they tell you with their cueing and everything that it's Hard Knocks all over again. Well, believe what you want to believe. If I have to be the Ed Murrow of the Dallas Cowboys when they're represented in the media, then so be it. That's my calling. So there you go. And I don't know what's so bad about it. Joe Avezzano, you remember some of you Cowboys fans were complaining about special teams coach Bruce Reed and talking about bring back Joe? Yeah, well, Joe Avezzano, the former special teams coach for the Cowboys, is going to work with some of the players. And then Bill Bates, who I know Cowboys fans love, is going to work with the players. So, and Michael Irvin, it's all his idea. It's his brainchild. He's the host. He's the judge. Jerry Jones has nothing to do with it. So get off of Jerry Jones. All right, and you'll be celebrating because I'm getting off the air, and you can get back to more true alternative music right after the concert calendar.
TRSCFM. True alternative.